Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I of course am Carl, and we are back with another weekly upload of Vacuum Exposition. Now today it is a kind of a special episode. Again, I know I do a lot of special episodes, but truth be told, I absolutely love doing special episodes. This being the first episode after a very long and fun series back in May. Well, this one is well, no less special, but hey, we're getting on to more stuff that I just kind of come up with and say, hey, that would make a really good video. So we are looking at another different one today. Now, as I kind of mentioned last week, as you can probably tell, my shelves are getting pretty bare. I put good, well, 50-60% of what we own into storage now. Really all that's left is just our furniture and a few other little odds and ends and bits and bobs. So it really is getting to look kind of empty in here. And if you didn't hear what happened in the last video, go ahead and check it out for more detail. But basically, this entire wall is without power currently in my apartment. And unfortunately, the electricals are not very sound here in my apartment. They tried to fix it. They weren't able to fix it, so they had to call in an electrician. Um, at the time of filming, we have yet to see the electrician. I am filming this a little bit in advance because currently, while you guys are seeing this, I am in Las Vegas with my wife. We are just taking a little couple-day vacation down there to get a little bit more sun because, well, here in Washington State, it is kind of few and far between, especially in the May time frame. So we are having a good time, just trying to get away from it all, and especially trying not to worry about our apartment. But we are keeping our stuff safe just in case we don't want to have an electrical fire and potentially lose everything. So that's why we have been working on getting everything out of here. But enough of that. So, in case you also didn't see the last episode, me and my wife did release a book series, this being one of them. Of course, this one is a little bit more near and dear to my heart. This is Victor the Vacuum. Each book in the series is different. They're not a bunch of different stories about Victor, but this one being about a vacuum is one that I kind of came up with and had more liberties in the writing, as well as I do all of the illustrations for our books. But my wife is a speech therapist, and she helps kiddos with their speech and speech sounds, which is what this book does. It helps kids with certain sounds. This one for the V, for vacuum, of course. So any book sold, of course, has yours truly here on the back, as well as a little bit of insight there. But each book sold also does help our little publishing company. We're trying to make it with this set and hopefully reach more and more kiddos. Currently, we're in 6 different countries right now. So it is getting around, but definitely, if you feel so inclined, please check out the link down below and get yourself a copy because since I've been mentioning on the channel, we have had an uptick in this particular book. So for those that have bought them, thank you again. It is always very, very appreciated. And your contribution has very much helped our little book. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Now, we have a very, very special episode to get on to. So let's get to it and check out another really cool vacuum. All right, everybody. So we have a very interesting machine to talk about today. Now, I know what you're saying probably. Now, Carl, you usually look at well, older machines, don't you? I mean, you do like the older ones. Heck, your name is Constellation Carl after the Hoover constellation. And to that, I say you are correct. Generally speaking, I am into older machines. I've kind of said this a couple times throughout my videos over the years, but I do prefer older machines, generally speaking, but I do have a soft spot for some newer machines, this being one of them. Now, many of you probably recognize what this is. I do know that a lot of you guys are more into the newer stuff, but hey, that's all good. What we're looking at is a current model of vacuum cleaner. This is the Kenmore Elite DirectDrive Upright. This is a predecessor of many, many years of Kenmore vacuum cleaners being offered by the Sears and Roebuck Company. This being one of their current models, the Elite. So this would be their top of the line model that is offered in stores, whatever stores are left over, but can also be acquired off of both Amazon and Sears.com. Now, the Kenmore Elite Upright was their flagship vacuum cleaner that they offered back going into the early 2010s all the way up to today. Now, to properly ID one of these is a little bit hard, but I am going to give this machine an exact year, mostly because of a certain reason. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, the Kenmore Elite had many, many, many options on it. Not only did you have a multiple height adjustment settings, you also had an overload protector. So in case you were having issues or something was going on with the motor, or maybe the belt drive was stuck, that light would pop on in order to tell you to turn the machine off immediately because it was going to cause further damage. It also had a check bag indicator. It had a dust or dirt sensor on the front, which essentially was either a blue or green light that was added to the front of the machine, so that when you were vacuuming, you could tell whether, well, after you had gone over an area, it would say it was either clean or still needed a few more passes over it. This machine also had two different settings for power. You had one for carpet and one for hard surfaces or floors. That was also your control for the brush roll. This being a tandem air upright, it would have had two motors, one for suction and one for the brush roll. So essentially you could turn the brush roll off in order to do your hard surfaces. Now, in terms of attachments, this machine also had a full set of attachments, albeit some of them are missing at the moment. Now, around the back, we can kind of see you have the pet HandyMate. So this would have been the pet tool or turbo tool that you would have used with the hose here to do areas that had a little bit of pet hair on it. So that was good for that. In terms of turbo tools, I haven't had very much luck with most of them. To be honest, I find them kind of like a gimmick because the majority of them don't really work very well. At least that's what I've seen. If there are others out there that do work better, I would love to see them and try to test them out, but that's kind of my interpretation of these. Now, you also had, of course, a upholstery tool, dusting brush, and all that. It is missing the upholstery tool, unfortunately, but we do have the extra long crevice tool, so that is good to have. It is also missing an extension wand right here. However, I do have those attachments. Technically, the source of who I got this from ended up getting the attachments for it, and they were just a little bit late on the order, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. This is also a HEPA filtered machine. You can see right here is where the HEPA filter is encased. So when that needed to be changed, you would just simply open it, and there's your filter falling out. So very nice machine. This had all of the options. Now, a little bit of backstory about me. Now, once upon a time, going back to about 2016, I got a job working at Sears in my local store in Redmond, Washington. If you look it up, you will not find it. It is long since closed and has since been demolished, and now a mini mall, I believe, is in its place. But I worked for Sears for about 2 years, both full-time and part-time. I was originally hired on as a merchandise pickup associate. So basically, if you ordered anything from Sears online from the store, I was in charge, along with a few other people, to go along and find the order in the store. So scanning around and try to find it, collecting it, and having it ready for you guys. So that is what I did up until things changed, and my brother who worked there actually ended up leaving to work someplace else. He worked in the tool department, so I basically got graduated up into tools and lawn and garden, which were sections that were very, very close to me. I've always had kind of an affinity towards tools as well as garden equipment. So I moved up into that world But I was always close with the appliance guys. Appliances were on the basement level with me, with tools and lawn and garden, and vacuum cleaners were right around the corner from me. So this particular model of vacuum was the last vacuum that my Sears sold before it was shut down. So when I was leaving my old store, I intended on buying one of these because there was one that had been used kind of as a floor model that had been used to test, that customers had been using, that they had put for some rock bottom pricing. And being as I was an employee, I had certain methods in which case that I could get more of a discount. So I tried to seek those methods out, but unfortunately, that particular vacuum ended up getting sold to a customer before I had a chance. So since then, I have intended on finding another one just so I can put it in my collection to say that I have kind of a piece of that. So this particular machine did not come from my store, unfortunately. Now, fortunately, though, I was able to snag one of these from a good friend of mine, Mitchell Armstrong. He actually is the one that requested this video be made today. So I figured, why not? Let's do a video on the old Kenmore Elite. So he actually had found this in a local thrift store, and it was for a crazy good deal. So after some horse trading, me and him made a deal on it. And I am very grateful. He is actually the one that ordered the new attachments, so the next time I see him, I'll get those and make this 100% complete. But hey, this is perfect for a video, and we'll get a chance to take a look at this one today. Now, for those that didn't know, of course, Sears and Roebuck has pretty much gone completely out of business. There is Sears.com, which essentially functions as a low buck production type Amazon where you can get Kenmore goods and such. However, it's kind of a kludgy website and has never bode well, especially for those that work for Sears. Ask somebody that knew about it. You can, like I said, still acquire this machine itself, but keeping in mind, it is better to just go through Amazon. Pricing is a heck of a lot better. So if this is something that you are interested in trying to find, definitely go through Amazon. You'll have a way better return policy. You'll have way better success with getting any parts or anything like that. So that would be my recommendation for you guys. Sears, unfortunately, is closed, as well as their Sears Parts Direct. You can still get parts from them, I believe, but it's a fraction of the cost if you go through anybody, even eBay, for belts and bags. But it is kind of sad because I remember during the last days of my store when we had to kind of clean up the old media area. You remember when they had the big wall of TVs and then, you know, little aisleways with VCRs and other assorted electronic goods. It was very sad because my store towards the end, of course, all that stuff was gone. Even before we went into liquidations, that area had been pretty well abandoned. TVs, of course, gone, and no really electronics left in that area. So it is kind of sad to even to go back and think about, but they still had the vacuum section, and we did have a pretty good stockpile of them. And they had this one, the Elite, and then they had kind of a couple tiers down, as well as some canisters. I was never really a big fan of the newer Kenmore canisters, but the Elite uprights, I got a chance to use one of these to vacuum the area where that the media area was I was talking about, and it did very well. It pulls pretty well on the floor and really digs down deep. So it is very nice to have another one of these back, and I can't wait to see how it does on the floor. So thankfully, this is a newer machine, so I was able to find some ad representation from online ads. So here is a current ad right now through Sears. And the current Amazon page for this same machine right here. Well, I'd say that pretty much sums it all up for this thing. So let's get on to our run demo and see how this thing does. All right, everybody, we have the Kenmore Elite upright all ready to go and plugged in. It is all ready for doing some carpet cleaning, so let's see how this thing does on the floor.
Well, there you have it, folks. So the old Kenmore Elite, which, mark my words, right now I am saying a 2016 because that's when I worked for Sears. This 2016 Kenmore Elite DirectDrive vacuum cleaner did a fantastic job on the floor. Now, it actually felt really good in the hand because it just seems to grab carpet and it does such a really good job and grooms so well. It is no wonder this was the top of the line. The dirt sensor, of course, has you go over areas twice so that you do manage to get down deep. And, this may be a very cheap polyester carpet, but this thing made it look really, really nice. So I am very, very happy. And of course, a big, big thank you to Mitchell for snagging this for me and kind of completing this era for me for vacuum cleaners from Sears. So, well, I hope you guys all enjoyed our little run demo for today. I think this thing did a fantastic job, and I think that anybody that acquires one will feel the same.
Well, everybody, we have come to the end of another fun episode, and one that definitely took me back down memory lane. This is a really, really cool machine. I am so glad that I was able to bring this to you, and a big, big thank you to Mitchell for requesting this, because I have been really wanting to get an excuse to do a video on this particular machine. Now, I know it's not the most stellar, shining example of a new in-box example that I would love to own, but it does do everything I want, and it does perform fantastically. So I am very, very proud to own this one and have this one in my collection. Now, just kind of wrapping things up, if you didn't see the beginning of the video, please definitely go take a look at our book. I'll attach a link down to the bottom because, like I said, we are trying to get that book out as much as possible. And of course, if you have anybody in your lives that may need the help, or maybe a kiddo that is working on his speech sounds, definitely get them that book. It's a great gift. I know a lot of people that have gotten them for assorted kiddos in their lives. So definitely check out the set and see which one you guys prefer, or go ahead and snag yourself a Victor. So, but I'll attach that link down below so you guys can take a look. But otherwise, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your weekend. Of course, I am still on my little vacation right now, so I am going to take all the time I need to relax and try to kind of get back to a sense of peace and calmness. So I am going to get back to that, but you guys have a great rest of your weekend as well as a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch you again next time. Have a great rest of your day, y'all.